Facebook, which is Lagoon Radio at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and on Twitter. Thank God, Twitter is back. Twitter and Instagram still remains Lagoon Radio.Ng. Then you can as well call into the show. We're ready to listen to you. Please contribute. We need your contributions. Call us on 081 I repeat, 081 Lagoon. Sure, you can follow us on our Facebook as well. You can just check up for more information on our website, which is Lagoon.News, and on our YouTube channel. Check us as Lagoon.TV. Today promises to be very exciting, and we're going to be talking about tech trends in 2022, things to look out for in 2022. I still remain your wonderful, handsome host, Odo Emmanuel. It's been a beautiful year. At least we're starting on a very positive note, and the vibes is, it's sweet, and is adrenaline are pumping very hard because it's a year of election. So we're in. So welcome to today's edition. Welcome to today's edition of Tech Vibes. And like I keep saying, technology is the main thing. It's an enabler. It helps us reposition our businesses. It helps us in every areas, in every spheres of our lives. So without wasting much time, we're going to be looking at tech trends for 2022. What are we expecting to be seen? Areas that, that there will be a lot of growth. So I'm going to be starting with so in 2022, in fact, from like 2020, 21, ever since the advent of COVID-19, a lot of streaming has been going on the internet. So we're going to be seeing a rise in that area, live streaming, a lot of activities, events, trainings, seminars, webinars, everything mostly will be done virtually. We've started appreciating the virtual world, which is making a whole lot of sense to us now. Imagine if somebody has told us like 15 years back that streaming is gonna be the end thing. Like nobody would even believe that it's gonna exist. But now it has become the de facto thing. It has come to stay because people are always on like in transit. They're always on the move. The world is becoming so dynamic that people don't a lot of activity is now going online, a lot of content, video content. People have a lot of things going on these days on your all the social media platforms. You begin to see different things. They have skits, they have a lot of things going on online these days. People are becoming so conscious about activities. A lot of things are bubbling, buzzing, and crazy content online. And yeah, a lot of people are still cashing out, and a lot of people are still making money from these platforms, which makes a whole lot of sense because that's the end game. The most important thing is being able to monetize some of this content. But aside from the monetization path, there's this huge there's this demand or increase for content, or would I say knowledge, or just content basically, which has given rise to streaming, especially with all the social media platforms. Like they are enablers too. They give you access, they give you opportunities to be able to stream content, and which makes it very, very easy, and which makes it more reliable because people now can now stream, can now it makes the world a global village. People globally, every part of the world, people in Jamaica, America, Europe, every corners, every spheres of the earth now can connect, having platforms. So people can do business remotely. People can work remotely. They'll still talk about the remote jobs because I think that's one of the in things too in 2022. Yeah, so let me move into the next thing, which is remote jobs. With the advent of the internet and thanks to COVID, because COVID has given rise to, like I said, a lot of opportunities for people to explore different means to do different things. These days, companies are now looking for, Okay, I was reading an article before I came online, and there was this vibes, and the question was, or the question is, um, it's like the banks these days are even losing it to all the tech startups. They are losing most of their talents because people have become tired of 8 to 4, 9 to 5 kind of job. People prefer to do things remotely. Just imagine if I can just sit down at the comfort of my of my house, like I sit down in my own house and I'm working, with my laptop, and at the end of the month I get paid in dollars or in hard currency, which makes more sense rather than me going to waste my time in one company. And yeah, one thing about all these companies with all their bureaucracies and a lot of issues, your boss wants to sack you today. So the world has changed. It has become dynamic. It has become very unique. People have started doing things, in a more abstract form. So I just sit in the comfort of my home. Uh, I get a laptop. I get a skill set, like I know how to program. I know how to code. Not just even coding. You could do anything online. Like there are so many sites that offer such services. The likes of Fiverr, Indeed, and so many of them. You sit down in the comfort of your home with your laptop, with your internet dongle. You connect to some of those platforms, and there you go. You start streaming. You start working, and you get paid for those services. You don't need any boss to come and tell you what to do. You After you do your job, once you do your job, you get paid for it instantly. You don't need to start waiting for the end of the salary. What about if at the end of the month the company can't even afford to pay you, which doesn't make enough any sense, So as things have become so dynamic, things are beginning to evolve. So likewise with humans too, and technology, like I keep saying, the enabler, the the go-to tool for us to be able to do anything. So which would you prefer? To be at the comfort of your own house, in your own sitting room, lying down peacefully without going around, now inhaling all the noise pollutions and everything, without the stress of anybody bossing you around. You sit down at the comfort of your home, you just work remotely, and even at your own convenience, you can even choose the number of times, number of hours you want to work. Maybe let's say straight 5 hours, straight 10 hours. And you'll be paid in hard end currency, man. They'll be paying you in dollars, yeah, British pounds, euro, and maybe Saudi riyal or something like that, or Japanese yen or Chinese yen as well, or the Indian rupee, which makes a whole lot of sense. So as the world is evolving, things are evolving. Even the workspace is even evolving. So a lot of things have started, reshaping itself, naturally without even anybody telling them what to do. So, like I said, the remote job is something that has really come to stay, and a lot of companies have started looking at it as a medium. Hire a lot of, I get so many of those messages in my box. A lot of people telling you that okay, there are jobs. Do you have this skill set? And funny enough, you don't even need any qualifications. To get the really qualification required for some of those jobs are your skill sets. What can you do? What can you actually do? And you can see the world is changing. So it's not about going to school, spend 7 years in university, and at the end of the day, you can't even maybe do computer science and can't even build one app. It doesn't make any sense. So people are more focused on what can you do? What are the services that you can offer? So it's not just programming. There are so many things: digital marketing, transcribing, being able to, speaking different languages, different things. Yeah, my elder sister was telling me sometimes that she was about writing a book, and the people she even saw on the platform that she wanted to outsource the project to review people to review her books, and they were mostly Nigerians and Africans, basically, you know, on the platform. So which means that things have changed. The way we do things are now changing. So this brings me to the fact that aside from live streaming, the virtual job, remote job has come to stay. And in 2022, we're going to be seeing a lot of that because, like, they keep telling us that COVID is still around the corner. We have different variants of COVID. Today we have Omicron. Of course, maybe by tomorrow we'll have Lambda. By tomorrow we'll have Lambda. Next tomorrow we'll have Beta or Alpha or whatever. So, which means that this thing is not going to go away anytime soon. It means that a lot of people are going to still, you know, a lot of people are going to still have these issues. So which means that the possibility of a lot of companies. As okay, let me even digress back to the article that I said I read, and they were saying that a lot of banks are losing their best hands to startups, which is true. A lot of people are getting tired because I was looking at a list of like okay, like I rightly mentioned last week when we were looking at the numbers of startups that have gotten funds from Nigeria. I will find out that a lot of people are doing dynamic things, and there are investors even willing to, pumping money to any idea, any problem that you can solve. In the same vein, I was reading, like I was going through I was going through my LinkedIn, and I saw this particular guy called Inyola, and he was talking about how they've invested in over 70 startups in Africa over the space of 5 years, which, you know, that's, so which makes a whole lot of sense. It means that Africa is really waking up, to the world. And I read an article again that says in 2050 that the birth control in Africa, that Africa is going to even be like in terms of size, in terms of population, we're going to be the fourth in terms of we're going to be the fourth largest economy in the world, because it took statistics. So, for instance, okay, he talked about Italy, that the birth rate in Italy has declined as we speak. That they've tried to, put a lot of funding into it to even ensure that people will even give birth, but they found out that it's declining. So in Europe, so in America, South Korea is even worse. The government had to be forcing people to start. So it's only China that is still in the bigger picture, because the continent China, sorry, China is a country, but it's a continent of its own. So it's only China that's maybe okay, that's still trying to survive that hit. But Africa, I don't know. We are so blessed in this continent. Our black skin is so tough that it doesn't. Everything is just working in our favor, but we don't know how to take advantage of all these things. So in Africa, even despite the fact that even the government is trying to regulate, and there's birth control using contraceptive pills and so many other things, yet the rate at which people give birth is astronomical, is on the rise. So it means that Africa is going to be the go-to place. So the man was saying that in 2050, Africa, every investment will be coming into Africa, because the population is increasing and it's on the rise. And market is all about population. It's all about who's going to consume those contents. It's all about who's going to consume whatever you produce. Imagine if you produce food and there's nobody. You produce food in Europe and there's nobody to eat the food. What will happen? It will be a waste. So it means the larger the population, the brighter the opportunity. It creates, larger opportunities for we to take out. So they are looking at areas. They're already telling Europe, because Europe as it is now is on the decline. Their birth rate is on the decline. And the most astonishing part is the age bracket of Africans are between 20 to 40. They have the larger population. So it means in the year 2050, it's going to be a hot selling bird. So everybody's looking towards Africa. That's why the investments are pouring into in Africa, the continent, because they found out everything they've tried to subdue us in every way. Yet we keep surviving, we keep evolving, we keep reshaping ourselves, we keep repositioning ourselves, and we're just there. So it's high time for us to take advantage of all those things and move. Wow. So that's just for that. And let me move back to some of the trends that, so I spoke about, of course, the online streaming, and secondly, the remote job, which is something that, is becoming a norm in Africa and, in fact, all over the world, because the internet has given us that opportunity for us to be able to do those things. So another thing again that I noticed is that it's on the rise is the use of electric vehicles. Even though in Nigeria it's still a big issue, but due to global warming and the depletion of our ozone layer, a lot of people have started. We're shifting away from conventional fossil fuel, conventional petrol, PMS that we used to 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 drive our vehicles, there's a shift, there's a paradigm. That's why I'm pitying Nigeria, because we're solely dependent on oil. The advanced world are beginning to see the need for electric vehicles. So a lot of companies have started investing a lot of money into it. We have the likes of Tesla. In fact, some of these conventional companies who build normal cars have started looking into electric vehicles, because that's the present now. In order to mitigate the use of PMS, and besides, it gives room space for growth in technology. So everything becomes seamless. Imagine having electronic cars driven with batteries, so which means we're not going to be having filling stations are going to be charging ports now, where you go and charge your car rather than you go and buy fuel and to power your cars. So the use of all those diesel PMS is becoming outdated. In the next 15 to 20 years, I'm sure a lot of, especially in the advanced world, they would have phased out those cars. Maybe they'll come and dump them in Africa here, which is always mostly West Africa, which is always their dumping ground. So the growth in electronic vehicles, is going to be, on the rise in 2022. So a lot of companies have started investing a lot of money into, the use of electric vehicles. Then, fourthly, the demand and supply chain has become something that's, over the years, due to a lot of, you know, like I said, the COVID-19 came as a curse and at the same time as a blessing. Yeah, a curse in the sense that a lot of people had to die. A lot of people died of the virus. Yeah, but it gave room space for other creatives to become rich and become billionaires, especially people who are into the e-commerce space. Because during the lockdown there was no movement. It was only those who do buy and sell that were given opportunities to be able to move around with their so-called vehicles to be able to deliver goods on demand. So, which gave rise to um, there, okay, now so there's this logistic challenge because everybody is now solely dependent on order food online, order groceries online, order clothes online, stream do parties online. Everything is being done online. If people even order their party food online, so maybe you have a party of like maybe 60 guests, so rather than going to engage the service of maybe a caterer or people to come and cook for you, you can just actually order these foods from all these vendors, and they will get it delivered to you same day, maybe in an hour's time or something, maybe a delay of maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. So it saves you all those stress. So you just pay per plate, maybe 1K or 1.5 per plate, and you order for like 70 plates, and it will be delivered. So why am I talking about this? There's a gap because there's a high demand for, goods and services online. So which brings this logistics challenge, being able to transport those things from one point to another. So in 2022, we're going to see an astronomical growth in that area, in that field, because a lot of people are still buying and selling. It has become a norm now. So people just, especially people who work from home, there's no point going out, where you can just order anything you want online. Anything at all can be ordered online, except for maybe human parts. I don't know that, but virtually everything can be ordered online at the comfort of your home. You can just place an order for anything, and you get it delivered, which makes a whole lot of sense. So the problem here now is the logistics problem. Being able to pick those products from the vendors who actually make those things and deliver, or the supplier, to the end user or the consumer. So that's gap is there's a gap in between that area. So there's these so in 2022 we're going to be seeing a lot of people going to that space. A lot of companies are going to start investing into other areas, to be able to meet up. There's demand for everything. You'll be so surprised what people order online on a daily basis. Even as we speak, people are ordering for different things, So it means there's a business around that area. So it means if you're into that logistics field, or maybe you deliver goods and services, it means you're going to be making a whole lot of money in this period, because there's business. People are still ordering, and there's room space. So companies, smart companies, smart startups can start looking at means of delivering those goods at a very cheap and affordable rate, and maybe use the use of smart drones and so many things to deliver those things in time. Even we're going to start seeing, even in terms of the transport, in transportation, people are going to start disrupting that area. Start having chopper, drones that serves as chopper, to be able to pick people from one point to another. So this year is going to be a year of wonderful innovation, and a lot of drastic things are going up. So a lot of things are coming in, and people are really, really innovating and coming up with good ideas and solving real problems. So yeah, I moved to my next item. So I got to uh, so like I rightly said, there's a lot of pressure from retailers who are pressuring people to deliver goods at a faster means. So people are looking for different measures or means, to be able to deliver all those goods. You know, Imagine for like a company like Walmart, they've even teamed up with an automotive company and a startup. You know, for self-driverless cars to deliver things. A lot of people are investing in drones heavily, majorly. To be able to ship those goods to the end users, and so this is a huge business opportunity for anybody that is interested in that space to be able to. There's an adoption for everything. It is the customer's demand that we force innovation out of, because when there's necessity, it begets innovation and creativity. So these are just areas and avenues of business ideas that we can take advantage of. Then another thing is there's social commerce. Social commerce, it plays a crucial role in customers' purchasing journey. So uh, so like the social media sites accelerated most efforts, to allow customers to purchase products without even leaving the platform. So, like for instance, all the social media platforms now, you can buy things on those platforms, and on Instagram, Pinterest, and Snapchat, you can buy things, you can buy stuff, and you won't even leave the platform. You just be there and still be. So there's going to be a lot of online activity. Most businesses are going to be, focusing on how to drive adoption online businesses. Another thing that is trending now is customers who they want to learn how to buy now then pay later. It's becoming a trend where people buy products and services. For instance, you buy a pair of shoe, and you can cruise the shoe. After cruising it for 1 month, you can now start paying later, which is like but definitely there'll be like an upfront payment. So a lot of companies and startups are really looking into that, buy now and pay later, which makes a whole lot of sense. It helps, so like for business people who don't really have, or people who might not have the cash to buy maybe a fancy car at once, but they can pay these things instrumental. So that's another thing to look out for in 2022. A lot of companies are going to be, working or looking into that direction. We already have all these loan apps that give out loans, and but man, those guys are crazy because the way, if you fail to pay up, the way they will start broadcasting and start sending unsolicited messages to all your loved ones, becomes, it's very embarrassing. But that's not what we're talking about. So this is another key area that the technology trend business is actually moving towards, is tilting towards that direction where people buy things and maybe they pay later, which makes a whole lot of sense. But in as much as it's risky, but it's a good way to start, to gain more customers. You just let them use the product. Once they enjoy it, if they're good with it, they always come back for more, or maybe for an upgraded version of that product or service that you're rendering. So when they buy it, they can actually come back for it later. Another one is uh, it's called to infinity and to beyond. Technology, there's ongoing technological advancements, and which will continue to grow in 2022. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the space industry. Hmm. It's like the heads don't tire some people, or it has tired some people. Don't mind me, I'm just joking. So uh, a lot of companies have started, investing into space shuttle. Uh, and people like Blue Virgin and Virgin Galactic and even SpaceX starships are finally launched for an entire successful business mission. NASA and everybody, they really started investing to people who want to leave this earth. They are tired of this earth. They want to start another life somewhere else. People want to go to Mars. I want to take a trip to Mars. I want to take a I'm going on vacation to Jupiter. I'm going on a vacation to Pluto. You know, the world is becoming adventurous, and people are becoming daredevils. And they're trying and exploring and looking for new avenues, new ways of doing things. People are tired of the earth, you know. So they want to go out. They want to reach out to all those aliens. I won't be surprised one day they will go to Pluto and go and bring an alien to this country, or to this world. I won't be surprised. I read an article about sometimes ago. Was it last 2 weeks? Yeah, when NASA brought a priest to come and prepare the earth for alien invasion and be alien visitors. So I don't know who told them that we're going to be expecting visitors very soon, but it makes a whole lot of sense, which means that maybe there's another life somewhere that they know that we don't know, or they are seeing, or they've seen that we don't know. So yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense because it means there's growth in that area. So the industry is becoming, you know, is becoming very interesting, and a lot of people have started. A lot of companies have started looking for life after Earth. A lot of companies have started investing money into all those areas where you'll be so surprised that is habitable. There are so many other planets. So very soon now, going to Mars will be like somebody who is going to on HRB, somebody that is going to Sabo, or somebody that is going to, it's just a stone throw. Like in 3 hours or 4 hours, you're already in Mars. Like you'll be surprised. You wake up in Jupiter, you go and sleep, you sleep at Mars, or you go and sleep at, in fact, or even go to Venus or go to Saturn for your picnic, then come back to Earth for your. So it makes a whole lot of sense because it means that the world is becoming dynamic, and a lot of activities are happening globally. People have started to see that there's life beyond Earth. So it makes a whole lot of sense. And these companies have started investing money heavily into this field and trying to, explore other media. This is what science is all about. Being able to try the unthinkable, the unimaginable, being able to try other things. So these guys have really invested a lot of money into these things, and they want to start their space shuttle. So it's possible this year we'll start seeing families go on vacation to the moon, or just go for a picnic at Saturn. You just go have a business meeting in Jupiter, So, or the sun can even decide to go and roast yourself up, fry yourself up, maybe tan your skin to. We're already black, so we don't need to or brown. You go and tan yourself to this thing. So that's just it. So yeah, but jokes apart, it means that a lot of activities are going on around this business. So, like I said, the world is growing, and a lot of companies have started seeing how to plug into some of these areas. So that being said, another industry that is going to see a large surge is the gaming industry. A lot of interest going into gaming, video games basically. I'm not talking about football. I know football is, but I mean video games. A lot of there's a lot of investors are raking in money. A lot of people are seeing the potentials because people are idle, especially this period that some countries are still even enforcing lockdown. So a lot of people are still investing into that. Into people need content in as much as the COVID, it's not going away anytime soon. So a lot of countries are still locking down, are still in lockdown, like Australia and some of them, especially in Europe. So since the emergence of, despite the fact that they've taken the second and third jabs, they are still, facing this the pandemic. So, which means there's a lot of business within that area and this space. So we're going to still be seeing a lot of gaming activities. People need to be engaged. Online games. People who want to see things that's going to take their time. People who just want to connect, communicate. They want to look for things that will drive them crazy, things that will connect them to other people, things that will keep them busy. And after the stress of work, you just come home, you just put on your TV, plug in your games, and you start playing. Engage maybe online and start playing. Start getting yourself, just to relieve stress and make life easy. So that's just these are just key areas that the trends are really booming in 2022. We're looking out for. So another thing again is going to be voice automation. It will become an expectation as junior employees join the workforce. Voice automation, so voice automation is another area that people are going to be looking at. A lot of companies are going to be looking at things like Alexa automation, home automation, you know, employees sending voice notes, on demand, transcribing and all this and the likes. These are areas that there will be a surge or a trend in that area. So another thing is all these enterprise technologies, they will be forced to level up and meet customers' tech demands. You know, the workforce or the workspace is increasing. Technology is really taking over. It's really helping. And a lot of the way things are going now. It's in fact companies are just playing catch ups because the tech trend in things or the way things are now being done now is very at a very fast pace. You can come up with an idea today and tomorrow now it's become moribund or becomes redundant. It's no longer in place or in vogue. So a lot of companies are really looking inwards, strategizing, office space, you know, C-suite executives believe that their companies pay attention more to people's needs when introducing, so that's just it. A lot of things in that area in these regards: automation, office automation, home automation, business automation. Another thing again that is going to be scaling in 2022 is augmented reality, virtual reality. Companies are really taking advantage of the fact that you could have a virtual meeting. You could have sorry, not a virtual meeting. What I mean is, yeah, you could have a virtual meeting. You could have like your showroom online, on a virtual on a gadgets like Oculus Rift and stuff like that. You have your business, your creative stuff. Let people have a first-hand feel of what is going to your end product, what it's going to look like. Especially people in the fashion industry, people in gaming industry, in the animation industry, people who are into dome interior decorators, people who are into 3D designs, and a lot of things people are really going. So that thing is going to see a high trend as in terms of demand. A lot of virtual reality activities going line in that direction. So I hope it doesn't replace in the next 10 years. I hope it doesn't replace the real humans. Because if everything becomes virtual, it means there will be that communication problem between human to human. Because imagine if everything is just automated. You go out, everything is automated. You have a driverless car. You go to work, you're not seeing anybody. You're talking to robots. You finish from there, you go to an hotel. It's a robot that is going to welcome you, or you go and relax somewhere. Everything is automated. You don't see people. It will make life very sadistic. Like everything will become so unreal. Life will become meaningless because imagine if everything everywhere you go to, you won't see people again. Everything becomes automated because that's where the world is heading to, whether we like it or not. The truth has to be told. Everything is becoming so procedural, as in like it's now like one way. Everything is just done like the way it has been programmed to do. So I don't know, but though it's trendy, but is a bit scary, because that means that there's still need for that human interaction, human feel. You go to a place, you see people, you talk, you interact. Not like the world that like our days now, when you go to somewhere, everybody is just with their phones and they're engaging themselves with chatting online. Meanwhile, that physical conversation is no longer there. You see your wife, like like couples now sit down in the house and both of them on their phones chatting, rather than them talking to interacting, connecting, bonding. So, in as much as this technology is good, we should be careful too, so that it won't affect that human relationship. We having to connect with people, we not having to interact is very, very important, because that's the whole idea of humans, we being humans. That family thing, the bond thing, ability to communicate, it's very, very important. So the other the other areas, like in 2022, should be expecting more of wireless charging, people charging their devices instead of carrying wires up and down. You can just you know chat wirelessly. People can just talk to you wirelessly. Sorry, you charge your phones, your gadgets, your devices wirelessly. It makes a lot of sense that way. So these are the world is really tilting towards this direction, and a lot of things are really evolving. A lot of activities, wireless charging, wireless devices, wireless phones. So using all types of chargers, like your Type C chargers, to be able to charge things. So these are just basically it. These are how the world is moving in this direction, and we pray that we don't get pushed out of the whole scenario. So that's just it. So that's basically it. These are the technology trends. This is what the world is looking at in 2022, like I rightly said, especially in this area of logistics, because people are really, there's this demand, there's this high demand for products and services. So there's this interconnectivity. People want, there's high demand, everything in terms of gadgets to services to in the healthcare, transportation. People are thirsty for content. Social media, you find different video skits and people are watching them. People are just thirsty for knowledge in the information age that we are. People want new things. They're tired of the old ways of thinking. Even church evolving to become a virtual church, rather than going to that physical building. So things are really, really pushing up to the next stage. And so as the trend changes, I hope we just go in line with current day, modern day trends. So that's just it basically. So with that said, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to talk about today. So these are what we should be looking out for in 2022. There are a lot of things, but these are just a few ones that I could just lay my hands on, and which makes a whole lot of sense. So on this note, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that is listening to me today. I'll come your way again next time, same time next week. On this note, I want to say thank you and goodbye for now. Follow us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram, Twitter, on Facebook, and please like and share our videos. So until I meet you again, same time next week, remain blessed. Have a lovely day.
This is Lagoon Radio.